Hello Year 6. So this video and file is for your maths and English for today. It's all rolled into one. So we're continuing with our zoos that we are creating this week. So you have been brought in to build a new zoo and you will be given £450,000 to spend. You're going to need to decide on the animals that you will keep in your zoo, your layout, where people will get food and drink from, where people can buy things, and how they move around your zoo. So our first task, the English side of this, is that you need to come up with a name for your zoo. So it needs to be something clear that tells your audience what it is. You're then also going to need to come up with a logo. Again, this needs to be clear, but also eye-catching and interesting. And a slogan for your zoo, something that people can easily remember. I think you're going to be pretty good at that, because I know for your theme parks a couple of weeks ago, there were some amazing logos and slogans that you created. Okay, this time it's just about your zoo. The maths side of it is we're going to be starting to map out your zoo. So you can select what animals are in your zoo. You can choose how many of each animal you have in your enclosures. But if you would like 8 lions, you will need 32 squares for their enclosure. Because, if you see from our list here, we've got our lion enclosures are 4 squares per lion. So if you want 8 of them, that's 8 times 4, which is 32. You're also going to have to pay for them as well. So down here, it tells us that the lion enclosure is £3,000 per lion. So we're going to need to do 3,000 times 8 if you have 8 lions. Your guests also must have toilets to use. They must have a first aid tent, a shop, and somewhere to eat. But you can have as many or as few of those things as you want. So what you have got is you have got how many squares for each of the things that you might want to have in your zoo, but also the cost for each of the things that you'll have in your zoo as well. So the first job for the math side of things is to plan out what you want and where. So using squared paper, you'll need to plan that out. So for example, everybody's going to need an entrance, which is going to be 2 squares. So I would do my entrance, pop it on there. I'm going to label it and I know what it is. Then I'm going to want a car park, 1 square per 6 cars or 2 squares per coach. Right, well there's a lot, I'm going to want quite a lot of cars in my car park, so I need to think carefully about that and how many visitors I want at a time. So if I want to be able to have 600 visitors or 600 cars, then I'm going to need 100 squares for my car park. You might want to come back and do the car park part after you've planned the rest of your park, because that might need to go at the edge of your park. Paths, again, I would probably do that after you've planned your main features. Toilets, 4 squares per 4 toilets. So I'm going to want some toilets in my park, so I need 4 squares each time I want some toilets. So I might have some toilets right by the entrance actually as well. And again, I would label them so you don't forget what they are. Once you have included everything that you want in your park, you can then add up the cost of it. So if you've got 3 toilet blocks like I had, that's £600 per block, So I'm going to need to do 3 times 600. Remember, I can just do 3 times 6 and then add my zeros in at the end. So 3 times 6 is 18, add my 2 zeros, gives me £1,800 just for my toilets. Okay, so once you have done your plan, you then need to add up your costings to see how much you have spent. Fingers crossed you haven't overspent. Remember, you've got £450,000 to spend. Okay, I think this is a really nice activity and I hope you enjoy doing it.